The human body has an amazing ability to heal itself. And a big part of that is inflammation, the inflammatory response. When we cut our skin, we have tissue injury. The inflammatory response causes all kinds of cells to come to that area to help heal it, to gobble up the bacteria that's in the area, to call upon the body's healing resources to come to that area to heal that part of our body. It's really amazing. That's the way God intended our inflammatory system to work, to protect us. But when we have chronic inflammation, it causes a lot of problems. For example, chronic inflammation has been associated with cardiovascular disease, things like strokes and heart attacks. It's been associated with cancer, obviously with arthritis. It's been associated with digestive issues like irritable bowel disease. It's also been associated with things like anxiety and depression, so mental health issues as well. A number of different skin conditions like acne, psoriasis, eczema. And finally, it's thought that inflammation is involved somehow in the pathology of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease. So when we think about these different disorders, conditions, diseases, some of these among the biggest killers in the United States, obviously, if there's something that we can do to protect ourselves from those diseases, or if we already have had a diagnosis, then decreasing inflammation might help alleviate some of our symptoms and might go a long way in making us feel better. So let's talk a little bit about how we can decrease chronic inflammation.
A good place to start is by looking at food, one of the 4 pillars of health. Research and experts recommend several foods that can help decrease inflammation. One is smash fish. These are sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring. This made the anti-inflammatory food list because these foods are very high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are known to decrease inflammation. These particular fish are also low in contaminants. Nuts and seeds. Obviously, if you're allergic or intolerant to any of these foods or have sensitivity, these will cause inflammation instead of being anti-inflammatory. So if you have any problems with these foods, eliminate them from this list for you. So nuts and seeds, also very high in omega-3 fatty acids. Berries, things like blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Cherries, very anti-inflammatory. The cruciferous family, also things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, onions and garlic. Citrus fruits, beans and peas or the legume family, greens such as spinach, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, and herbs and spices, specifically ginger, turmeric, parsley, and rosemary. These foods increase inflammation. First among them is sugar. This is refined table sugar or foods and beverages that have added sugar. Very important to read labels on foods. When you go to the grocery, you want to look for added sugar. 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. So if you see a food that has 16 grams of sugar, that equals 4 teaspoons of sugar in that food. You might be surprised at how many foods contain sugar. Refined carbohydrates also have been shown to be inflammatory. So this is things like white bread, white pasta, fast food, things like deep fried foods, donuts, fried meat, fried chicken, commercially prepared baked goods, unhealthy oils. And this would include corn oil, sunflower oil, or safflower oil. Now, interestingly, flaxseed oil is an oil that's considered to be anti-inflammatory. So that's actually a healthy oil. Red meat is high in saturated fats, also considered to be a pro-inflammatory. And when you cook meats at a high temperature, they produce substances that are also inflammatory. Processed meat, lunch meat, hot dogs, bacon, sausage. Alcoholic beverages, also inflammatory. MSG, this is added to soy sauce in many prepared soups and deli meats, different food groups that contain trans fats like margarine, microwave popcorn, refrigerated biscuits and dough, and non-dairy creamers, and then ultra-processed foods. So these are foods typically that are found in the inner portion of the supermarket that have ingredients that you normally would not have on the shelf in your kitchen. There's been some very recent research on ultra-processed foods and their ability to increase inflammation. It's also really important to realize that even if you are consuming a diet of very healthy foods, those foods can still be pro-inflammatory to you if you are allergic or intolerant or have sensitivities to those foods. So it's very important for people to be in touch with how their body feels in terms of bloating, GI distress, headaches, and talk with your doctor about appropriate tests for food allergies. There are tests for intolerances like lactose intolerance. There's the ALCAT test, which is a leukocyte activation test that has been shown to be effective in research at identifying some gluten sensitivities that are not related with celiac disease, and some inflammatory sensitivities with associated with other problems like arthritis. Inadequate, low quality, and fragmented sleep have also been associated with inflammation. Perhaps the worst sleep disturbance is obstructive sleep apnea, which has been shown to increase inflammation and increase the risk of a number of inflammatory related diseases and conditions, including the risk for cardiovascular disease. Chronic stress and sedentary lifestyles have both been associated with increased inflammation. To protect ourselves from inflammation, it would be wise to move more, get more exercise, and also stress less. These can be difficult to do. Eating the right diet, getting appropriate sleep, exercising, stressing less, these are all pillars of health. And I've created a checklist for you that will guide you through some suggestions to really optimizing these 4 pillars of health. And when you do this, you will in turn decrease your risk of inflammation.
If this information has been helpful, please like this video and subscribe. In the description, I will include a link to a list of the pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory foods. I like lists, so I will also include another list for you, and that is a Pillars of Health checklist. Thank you for watching. I really hope this has been helpful.